Okay. Be right with everybody. Got luck. Both flocks here in Portland. We got serious crime problems now. It wasn't that way when I was in high school. Got the Portland night sky. I don't know if you guys can see it. Star. Pretty cold out. It's about 30 degrees. I'm going a little ride in my 328i. I got my license plate, I guess. Don't screw me over. Anyways, let's see. I was just going to talk about the Freedom Convoy and what I saw in Ottawa the last 3 weeks, and what my plans are for get the seat warmer going on. It's 29 degrees, it says. But yeah, I watched the Ottawa convoy, the Canadian convoy, from start to finish, all the way from the Zello conversations before there was any live streamers, all the way to the end. I didn't actually see Zot get arrested. I watched it later, obviously, but I missed that. But I was watching the live streams like at the gym, pretty much as I could. I watched Travel Fund 69, Stunt Dummy, War Campaign, Viva Fry, obviously. Watched. There's just so many of them. I subscribe to so many people. There's a guy in New Zealand, actually. Lingo Louie, I think. Anyways, I'm just gonna film out here. I'm probably gonna go to some bum camps. Not probably. I'm gonna pass by a bum camp so you can see what it's like. I'm in Vancouver, across the river from Portland. I'm moved in here with my brother a little while ago, but Portland and Vancouver are the same city. I'm from Portland, but Vancouver is it has become just as bad. The two interstate bridges have not kept out the bums. We got Antifa, we got the BLM, and we got the bums, and we got the woke SJW liberals running everything up here. That's why it's such a fucking shithole now. Pardon my French. But yeah, That is why. And they won't ever admit they're wrong. They just keep on keeping on. I'm actually going to be moving to Winnemucca, Nevada here about a month. My brother's still going to stay here. Finally almost once. Another one was super sketchy. But I guess I'll tell the story when I'm stopped, because right now from the shadows, the opposite direction, and walking, and I immediately glanced back at him because I noticed this kind of weird movement. He's walking slowly, and he has a huge ski mask on, trying to pretend like it's a COVID mask. That was a big red flag to me. I was immediately set off by that. And he had a hat on, so you could only see a sliver of his eyes. Everything else was covered. Big puffy jacket, one hand in his pocket. He rolls up to me slowly and gets to the gate and turns the corner as I'm waiting for the food. And I immediately just start talking to him because I noticed something's wrong. And I'm like, hey, man, I don't know if the cops are around here. Right. Anyways, he's coming to me and I start talking to him. I'm like, hey, is this the door for the food? And it's like, I'm just making conversation because I know what it is. I'm just trying to distract him and kind of stun him with speech. Like, hey, yeah, man, I don't know what's happening, I'm saying to him. And I'm like, hey, maybe it's around the corner. And I say this and I shuffle by him saying this. And I'm like, and then he starts to follow me around the McDonald's. And so I get only about 10, 15 feet and I stop and I'm like, there's no way I'm going around McDonald's, out of view. So I stop, and then the lady actually comes to the door. The manager comes to the door with my food, and the dude is standing in between me and her. And I just stand there just kind of like, she notices something is wrong. So then I kind of just slip by him. This is McDonald's right here. I slip by him and then get the food from the manager, and then as soon as I get to her, I'm like, hey, can I please come inside? This guy is acting weird. I don't know what's happening. She sees the look on my face and is like, okay, there's the McDonald's. Lets me in. As I go in, I'm like, hey, sir, I'm talking to him. I'm sorry, sir, you're kind of acting weird. I don't know what's happening. You're kind of frightening me. I think you might have a gun in your pocket. I tell him this, and as soon as I tell him this, he moves his hands out of his pocket as fast as he can, like he's pulling out a gun, but it's just his fingers in a shape of like a gun, and like doesn't say anything. He's like mumbling, doesn't say anything the whole time. I'm just like, oh shit, and I kind of just jump into the McDonald's and telling the lady what's happening, and she's kind of downplaying it like, no, he doesn't have a gun. And I'm like, no, I think he does. So we get to the other side of the McDonald's, which is right here. I come out of this door right there, and I'm walking this way, and I'm telling the manager, I'm like, hey, just kind of please follow me because this guy's shady and I need to get in my car. I'll follow you back. She's like, okay, no, he doesn't have a gun. It's all right. So she follows me, and she comes, and I will get to here, and my car is parked right over here in that corner. And he comes out from this corner, follows me, and he comes to intercept me right here. And I'm walking this way, and he doesn't say anything, and his hand is in his pocket, and I stop, and I'm like, hey, man. And the lady at this point, the manager's like, yeah, you need to get out of here. And I like, yeah, you need to go. You need to go this way, a long way. And he did. He stopped, and he just like, he knew I had people helping me. And it was all on camera, and I acted it. There's the fence. So I was right inside of there, inside that gate. And he came from this way. He seen me and he come from this way. that's where that, and then I got in my car, took off, and I called the police and reported him and reported the whole situation, and the police were very grateful and happy that I called. They were happy that I was not injured, and then so it's like that. We need to get more stories out about the good things cops do. I don't support bad cops, especially the ones in Ottawa. Things that they did, even if I don't think they were Canadian police. I think they were, who knows what they were, but I support good cops. We need good cops. We need good cops, now more than ever, and they helped me out, and I was like, well, I hope the officer is, safe, because they sent an officer out and was searching for him. They were in agreement. They said that's definitely what he was up to, and they were going to go check it out. This was 2 weeks ago, and I had another similar thing happen. I won't explain that one, but I've had two things like that happen in the past 2 weeks here in Portland, Vancouver. So it's not safe here. And the liberal government, just like the liberal government in Canada, is destroying it. They're actively destroying it, and it's not just the liberals, but there's a high concentration in the Liberal Party in both countries. But there's also many conservatives that are guilty. They need to be held accountable. They need to be in trial publicly, and many of them need to be in prison. We need to have a peaceful resolution for this, but we need to do it in a civil manner, and we need to hold those accountable for these mandates, for people losing their jobs, not being able to get jobs, for the masks, for the children in the schools, all the kids in the sports, not getting the scholarships. It's just disrupted everyone's lives for something that is really nothing. It's sad. So we've got to stand up and do something. America is, it's the last stand. The entire world. We got to take this on our shoulders. The entire world, even though we're, people look at us like we're punks sometimes, and America this, America that. We've been beaten down. The world looks to America for freedom, for justice, and we have got to deliver on this. If we don't, then it's going to plunge into something that I can't even imagine. This American Convoy has got to be something that springs up from God, essentially, just like how Ottawa was. That came out of nowhere, and no media wanted to report on it, but they were forced to, and they still twisted it. They twisted it hard. I literally watched Zot was filming where the big media people were filming. I don't know if it was CNN or Fox or MSN or CBC, one of these big guys, and he was filming what they were filming, and they arrested him. They told him to go away. They said, you can't be here, but this filming company can, this press company can, which leads you to the conclusion that it's not true press. It's doctored. It's fudged. Anyways, I'm gonna go slow. I'm gonna point you out to the right side. There's a huge bum encampment here. There's some cops or some shit going down. I gotta pull over. Hopefully that person's all right. Right here, there's a huge homeless encampment. It's sad. This is just one of the hundreds and hundreds of homeless encampments throughout. Sorry, I can't see that chat. I'm so new to streaming. I can see some chat, but if I'm not responding, I'm sorry, people. I'll get better at it. I'm just not driving and all this stuff. But I'm gonna try to, if I could possibly get to Washington D.C. with my uncle, I will. I mean, I'll drive in this car all the way from Portland, Oregon to Washington D.C. I can somehow, have the ability and get the funds. I'm working construction, but I will go and I will fight for us and all these. I mean, the children. It's sad. I think about it. When you're a kid, 2 years is so long. It's insane. When you're like 5 or 6 and under, 7, 8, 2 or 3 years, that seems like an eternity. And that's what these kids have been through. These kids don't even know what smiles are, And a lot of them are losing they can't learn how to speak as quickly. So, anyways, I'm going to end this stream. Might stream a little bit later, I'm not sure, but I'm definitely going to be streaming tomorrow, and I'll continue to be streaming every single day talking about this. Sorry if my uncle, I stream my uncle, and he's a boomer. He says some things about other religions that I don't agree with. He says harsh things, so when he says those things, just know that's not my view, and it's just, I have to have someone that I am talking to with stuff, and it's his point of view, so I'm accepting of anybody who has love and compassion in their heart. That's my religion, so I guess I'll leave it at that, guys. Try to leave it at that. Dark. Hop on a little later, maybe tomorrow. Well, definitely tomorrow. It's crazy. I'm just gonna keep talking about it. I saw everything in Ottawa as much as you could see, not being there. I talked to Stunt Dummy, texting. I doubt he knows who I am. I only talked to him a couple times, but yeah, it was pretty crazy up there. They just rode in with horses and batons. I knew that. 99% sure that was going to happen. People just don't understand the gravity of the situation. And I could say some stuff that would blow your mind, but maybe not. I don't know. People just have to understand that the world isn't what they think it is. There's societies that are obscured from public view for the most part, that control much of society, by clandestine means, secretive means. Yeah, it's really obvious in some areas. Just look at there's Masonic lodges everywhere, everybody. The Masons, the Elks lodges, the Reiners, all these old man lodges, and women, Mason women are Masons as well. I don't know if you knew that, but there's definitely Mason women. The Queen of England is a Mason, probably one of the highest ranking Masons in the entire world, if not the highest ranking Mason in the world. So, and you just got to look back, going even way back into history. Just, think about medieval times with the Knights Templar. They first started usury, which is our current, structure of our current banking system. They were, Knights Templar were a fearsome group of soldiers, horsebacks, and they could transport gold all over the place. So people stored gold with them, and they could pull it out, from another Knight Templar, a different spot. So it was like kind of like the first banking. That's how they got, Anyways, I mean, that goes way back, and there's societies that have been created off those groups from 500-600 years ago. They've been going through Europe, and I mean, there's throughout the world. I mean, you look at Thomas Jefferson fighting the banks. You just look into his history, and fighting the Federal Reserve, current Federal Reserve banks. Ron Paul, Rand Paul. I mean, there's people out there in history. There's what's his name? Thomas Lewis McFadden, I think. There's been people in history, but they've been washed over. Ted L. Gunderson. I mean, there's just Aaron Russo. There's people out there that have spoken about these secret, clandestine groups. It's like they're clans. Anyways, I'll talk more tomorrow. There's so much. Got to take the freedom back. I just want to go back to normal. Honestly, I'm fine with pre-2019. I really don't. I mean, just go back. No mandates. Hospitals are normal. They'll treat you. They don't care if you're vaccinated or not. Jobs don't care. Insanity has to stop. Let's get it, guys. See you later.